Happy New Year. If you're watching this, you're probably considering or have already made the decision to buy your first business in 2024. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jen. I left my corporate job, I want to say about 5 years ago now. And over the course of the past 5 years, I've purchased and started several businesses across many different types of industries. I get asked the questions a lot, like, how do you start a business? What type of business should I buy? What type of business should I start? One thing I want to clarify is buying a business and starting a business are two completely different animals, right? There are some similarities, but there are many differences. What I wanted to do today in this video is pretty much go over the 5 questions I get asked quite frequently from people who are either interested in starting businesses or buying businesses. So without further ado, let's jump in right to question number 1. Okay, the first question I always get when someone is looking to start a business is, should I get an LLC or an S Corp? And my personal opinion on that is, in the beginning, it really doesn't matter. Now, I am not a tax advisor, so you should definitely speak with like a tax professional or a CPA. But at the onset, when you're just starting your business, I know the excitement of opening up an LLC is very exciting, right? It's low-hanging fruit. It's something you can do easily. You have your LLC and now you have your business, but it is not something that you need to do right away once the thought of starting a business hits your mind. And there are many reasons why you don't want to do that. One, starting an LLC costs money. So you have to pay for a filing fee and make sure you're not paying someone else to do it, because starting an LLC is something you can do on your own within 5 minutes, right? So you got to pay for that. In addition, you got to pay for yearly filing fees. So if you start your LLC today, but you're still in that brainstorming phase, you still have to file taxes on that LLC, whether it was operational or not. But to address the question, LLC or S Corp, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in the beginning, because if you start an LLC, depending on how your business is operating, your profitability, cases specific to you and your business, you can always elect to be treated as an S Corp. Typically, you would get the guidance of a CPA or your tax advisor, but trying to make that decision between LLC and S Corp really isn't something you need to, put top of mind as soon as you decide that you want to start a business. Okay, the second question that I get asked quite frequently is, this one always makes me laugh, is, what business should I start? Now that's a very loaded question, right? Because you can pretty much start any type of business. It really depends. But when people ask me that question, what business should I start? What I think they're really asking is, how do I identify my skills and interest? And then how do I connect that with a product or service offering that is currently missing in the market, right? Because asking someone, hey, what business can I start? You won't really get far with that, because it just runs the gamut. You can start whatever you want. But if you can identify the skills that you have, the interest that you have, and then try to tie it into a market offering, whether it be a product or a service, you can tie the two and then do additional research and dive deep to see what type of business could you potentially start, or what type of business could you potentially buy. Now, during this phase, you really want to dig deep. You want to do as much research as you possibly can on that particular business or that particular idea. And then once you have done that deep level work, that deep research, you then want to find other people in that industry who are doing that type of business or have experience in that type of business, and drill them with questions. Drill them with specific questions that you find out, drill them with questions that you want to clarify. Just have a list of questions, do a lot of deep work, prepare those questions, and then find someone that is willing to sit with you and give you guidance based on their specific experience. And it doesn't just need to be one person. You can speak to multiple people, because it's worth noting that Even if two different people start the same exact business within the same exact industry, their experiences will be completely different. So it's worth speaking to many different people within that industry that have started that business so that you can, pick up on those nuggets that you need to implement so that you are successful as well. Question number 3, how much money do I need to start a business? Similar to question number 2, what business do I start? Again, it runs the gamut. You can start a business for as little as 0 down, or you might need multi-million of dollars to start a business. It really depends on how the type of business, the type of industry, and how you specifically negotiate that deal. For example, you might decide that you want to buy a laundromat and you go to a bank and you request a bank loan. They in turn might say, okay, we need you to give us 20% down or 30% down, right? So you would need to have that 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50% down in capital to contribute as an equity injection to that business. On the other hand, you might find a seller that's willing to take a seller's note, meaning that you pay them over time, even though you take ownership of the business today. In a deal in this way, you don't really need to have much capital, but it all goes back to doing the research on the business, understanding the types of options that are there for you, understanding, where you are financially and how much capital you could potentially contribute, and then make the decision from there. Okay, so the 4th question that I typically get asked is, where do I go to find a business that I would want to buy? Now, I have a list. I'm going to put it down in the comment section so that you guys can refer to it later, but I'll list some of them out. So we have BizBuySell, which is one of my favorites. It's pretty much a large online marketplace where people buy and sell businesses, all types of businesses across many different industries. So that's a good one. We also have BizQuest.com. It's very, very similar to BizBuySell. Again, a large platform where people are buying and selling businesses. The 3rd on my list would be Flippa. Now, the difference with Flippa is it's mostly e-commerce businesses, like websites. People are selling that are generating revenue and they'll look to sell. So if you're interested in a non-brick and mortar business, Flippa might be right for you. The 4th one is businessforsale.com. That's another one that I really like scrolling through. Similar to BizBuySell, it's a large marketplace for people to buy and sell business. And there are many more, but the last one that I can think of is LoopNet. LoopNet, again, is another online platform. They specialize in commercial real estate. So let's say you're looking to open up a restaurant and you need a space for your restaurant, you can go to LoopNet. If you're looking to purchase commercial property, medical offices, shopping center, LoopNet would be a great place for you to start. But again, I'll list all of these down in the comment sections below so that you can refer and look through these on your own accord. Okay, so the 5th question that I typically get asked, and this is a pretty important question, but the 5th one that I typically get asked is this particular business a good business? Or how do I know if buying this particular business is a good buy? Many people tend to have that question when they're endeavoring on either starting a business or purchasing a business. My answer to that is that when you're looking to start a business, you can never with 100% certainty know if that business is going to be a success or if that business is going to be a failure. So you can't pick a business and say, you know what, this type of business is guaranteed to fail and this type of business is guaranteed to succeed. Similar to what I said earlier, 2 people can start the same exact business and one is extremely successful at it and the other one fails at it, because there are just so many factors that goes into starting a business, running a business, your location, the type of people you hire, the suppliers you're working with, your own personality and the way it meshes with your employees, your suppliers, the guests. There are so many different factors that play a role in that it would be difficult to say whether or not any particular business is a shoo-in for success or failure. However, there are certain things that you can do to try to increase the possibility of having a successful business, right? And the first thing is watching videos like this where you can educate yourself on what to expect, speaking to people within that industry and trying to garner as much information as you possibly can from many different sources, reading different types of books on the product or service or the market that you're looking to embark on, educating yourselves on different types of fundamentals, whether you might not have a strong strength in marketing, or maybe you might not have a strong strength in sales, whatever it may be, looking to educate yourselves on those fundamentals so that you can better equip yourself for success. But there's no way that you can choose a business and then say, you know what, is this business going to be successful? Or if I start this business, will I fail? No one can answer that for you. But there are certain things that you can do to help mitigate that. And it really starts with doing the research, doing the deep work. And it's also worth noting that for any business, whether you're buying the business or you're starting the business, there's going to be issues and problems that you come across that are specific to you that you'll have to deal with. One thing that's guaranteed is you will have problems, you will have roadblocks. You just need to have the mindset that whatever problem comes up, or whatever problem or roadblock that I come across, I will figure out how to, get across that problem, or I will engage other people who might be able to help me, cross that bridge. So those are pretty much the 5 questions that I typically get asked. I'm very interested to see some of the questions that you entrepreneurs typically get asked, or if there's anyone out there, that you're thinking about starting your business, you want to start your LLC and get your LLC. What questions do you have? What concerns do you have? Definitely leave them in the comments, and I'll do my best to respond to as many of them as possible. Until next time.